first order of business is to consider the minutes from our June 19th meeting. There's only one agenda item there, but everyone get a chance to take a look?
Yes.
Any corrections or mistakes? All right. Hearing none, minutes are accepted. Okay, there were 2 emails that were sent to us that, if we want to discuss, we can, but they're not items on the agenda. The first is a suggestion from Greg Hirschlong to consider giving a limited number of parking passes to be included with the bonfires, because apparently he's having some issues with out-of-town guests. I don't know if everyone's had a chance to take a look at this. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on this. Chris?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I've been to only 2 bonfires. It's a very difficult ticket to get, right? My understanding is that at a specific time, and we have the gate, right, now?
We have a gate, but the specific times, the beaches close at 11. So from Memorial Day to Labor Day, beaches are open 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. And they're staffed from 10 a.m. to about 11 p.m. Our staff collecting tickets at the gate is only on until 8 p.m. After 8 p.m., then it's a special police officer who monitors the gate and does not let non-residents.
And then generally, what time do individuals show up at the bonfires?
Bonfires can start at 5:30. They run 5:30 to 10:30.
Okay. And I thought about this actually hard and fast. I almost feel like there should be I'm partial to having like out-of-towners. You almost get like a ticket, right? Like if you win the bonfire lottery.
I don't have an opinion one way or the other. Everybody does their bonfire different. Some keep it to just small groups of family. Correct. Others actually are businesses that will charge you $10, $15, $20 to get in to their event. And again, I'm not weighing in one way or the other. I just know the way bonfires are currently being utilized, it's very different across the board.
Yeah, I just think this is like, we're not going to make a decision tonight, but I think it's open for discussion. I think, I mean, if you want to have, family from out of town in, and hey, I live in Fairfield, great town, but we can't get you on the beach.
There's a lot of events that take place at Jennings.
Yeah.
And we always consider the precedent set by any decision that we make. And the out-of-town guests either have to pay to park there, or they have to make other accommodations to get to the beach. My opinion is that this would open Pandora's box, and if we agree to it for the bonfires, why, there's another item on the agenda.
True precedent.
That's, mine travel on Jennings Beach. If we approve this, why not? Well, that's after Labor Day, but if we approve that, why not the mine travel? That's pre-Labor Day. Why not any of the events? So I don't think it's a good idea, but if we have enough people who want to consider it, we can put it into the rules.
If I can continue, so the bonfires they're an in-town event organized by the Park and Rec body, not the commission. Whereas, mine travel is an out of town and it has to get approved. I mean, there's a lot to it. I mean, I can understand with the email, like, again, you've got mom and dad and cousins and aunts coming to town. And you only have a window, right? You have the bonfire, and then you're driving back and forth. And I can understand that argument. And it's not an easy lottery ticket to win, right?
Okay.
I'm kind of with you, Chris. I understand where you're going with this. I think that the person who does get the date for the bonfire, I think the guest would have to pay something to park. But because of the time of day, they're using the beach after hours, not at peak time.
Yeah.
Probably not a ton of people down there, especially during the week. Maybe there could be something that could be done, like a $20 or something rate.
And I would put that back to the rules committee.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying. I'm just going to leave it at that, and that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Well, I've written an email to the rules committee saying we wanted to talk about it, but we're tabling it for this purpose tonight. But we're happy to do that, so we can put something on the books for next month.
It's just open for discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if anybody else, Jamie or Dylan, if you guys want to weigh in on that.
I think we can talk about it at the rules committee.
Okay.
Okay. So then the next email came from Carolyn Warner, who lives on Hillcrest near the Tomlinson tennis courts. And she's asking basically 3 items. That 2 of the 4 courts
There are 4 tennis courts
4
there,
tennis courts, okay.
8 pickleball courts.
8 pickleball courts on the 4
tennis courts.
But there's 4 courts there.
That's correct.
All right, so she is asking that 2 of the courts be utilized for tennis. I'll defer back to you in a second, Anthony, on the second item. And then the third item, which is the privacy netting on the courts. The third item is looking for a sign that would advise pickleball players that the courts are to be used 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. That is the correct time?
I don't believe those are the correct times. I think it's 9 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay.
But
well, that would be even better.
I'm not opposed to signage. If the signage is correct, so courts are open. I should backtrack. Courts are open sunrise to sunset. So if the sun is up at 7 a.m., someone could go and play at 7 a.m. They could not make a reservation to play prior to 9 a.m. No, there's not a large group of people playing at 7 a.m. I've driven by this court because I've had this complaint from this group of residents that live there, and I'm very sensitive to the play that they were getting. But it's not at the peak of when that was the only set of pickleball courts that we had, because there was a time when Tunxus Hill was under construction and all the people that were playing at Tunxus were going to Tomlinson. But then we opened up the 8 courts at Fairfield Woods, and we opened up the additional 8 at Dwight. That then took all the people that were playing at Tomlinson and then dispersed them amongst those other spots. So I don't know that this is necessarily as big of an issue. I'm not saying it's not an issue, because they live there and they deal with it every day. I drive by, a couple times every other week. I haven't seen it. So I wouldn't be opposed to putting signage up that if it said, reservation play, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. That might deter people from playing early in the morning, but we don't necessarily have a rule that says you cannot play at, the rule says sunrise to sunset.
Okay. So if the sun is up at 6 a.m., which is during the summer, people can go play.
Yeah.
So the signage is not really relevant.
No, and the screening went up shortly after. It was a little late this year.
So the screening is up now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so then the only item on this for any discussion is whether we want to convert 2 of the 4 courts that are striped for pickleball to convert it back to tennis only.
So are they not convertible depending on if someone shows up?
No, they are.
So if you reserve a court, you can play tennis or pickleball. You just set it up yourself.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm obviously opposed to converting anything back to single use. It's very tricky between the tennis players and the pickleball players.
What is now that the other courts are open, how are reservations going for the Tomlinson courts? Is it relatively easy to get a secure time?
Yeah, I would say it's relatively easy in the summer. More difficult during the school year because you can't use them during the school day. You can't make a reservation at any of the school sites during the day. So that limits the time. And then after school time also gets tricky because you have the high schools playing. Again, I can't recall which play in the fall or the spring anymore because they swapped seasons on me. But when it's tennis season, the high school uses those courts for sub-varsity play. So you might not be able to get it even on until 6 p.m. to make a reservation.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with pickleballers. That has to do with tennis players, with the schools.
Well, they use the same court, so it'd be if the high school tennis players are on, pickleball players can't be on there.
I understand.
Yeah.
My point is, if we converted 2 of them to tennis only, they're not getting those tennis courts during the tennis season for the high schools.
Correct. And the only other thing that, again, makes this tricky is if you book a reservation for court 1 for tennis, you've now taken 2 pickleball courts offline.
Mm-hmm.
That's the tricky part.
What's the demand?
More for pickleball. Pickleball is the high demand.
So,
And Anthony, I also noticed, I play tennis, and I've noticed individuals reserving tennis courts and then bringing in their own equipment and setting up their own pickleball court on the tennis court.
So all our courts that have pickleball lines, we have temporary nets there. So those are our nets that should be out there. Knock on wood, none of them have disappeared.
They've come in with tools, and they've taken over.
Back to your point, Anthony. So the temporary pickleball nets, if I reserve it for tennis, I just have to pick up the temporary nets and just out.
Yeah, they're on wheels. They just slide right over.
Okay. So, I'm sorry. Back to my question. So, how difficult is it during the summer, away from the tennis season of the schools, how difficult is it if I want to get a tennis court on Friday?
I don't think it's difficult. Everybody has the same option to book, whether I'm playing tennis or pickleball. It's first come, first serve, a week ahead or 2 weeks
1
ahead?
week ahead.
1 week ahead. So,
And each
yeah, I mean,
household is
So maybe
limited to 4 hours.
Friday of this week is not a good example. Wednesday of next week, if I called up, I'd be able to get a tennis court more than likely.
more than likely. Yeah.
Whether there's 4 that are used for either tennis or for pickleball,
Mhm.
or if we just designated 2 for tennis. So
Yep.
it doesn't. So the argument really doesn't make too much of a difference whether we converted 2 of the 4 courts back to tennis or kept them the way they are. If you can get a permit,
I would agree with that.
All right. Any other comments?
When you reserve, are you reserving specific pickleball 1, pickleball 2? So you
And
try
they have
to,
their favorites.
okay.
Gonna-
Do you try to maintain sort of a tennis court?
No,
Where you can?
No,
where
we
somebody
let- we
can
let
take
it-
that and
no.
this and this?
no. We let it. It is free for all. So if you want to play tennis, you book tennis court 1. If I go on to book pickleball and pickleball 1A and 2A aren't available, well, then I've got to go to 2B.
Okay. So you could, as a pickleball player, do like 1, 2, 3, 4, and basically
No,
keep
no,
any
you
tennis
can't do
from
that.
playing?
No, no, not you as an individual. You could not do that.
So you handle out.
There's a number of
4
hours,
hours.
4 hours per household
Per
per
week.
week that are allowed to be booked, and that's it.
Okay. No, I'm just trying to get at how you reserve. So you're reserving a specific court.
Yep.
Whether that's half a tennis court for pickleball or...
Right, and if I booked the tennis court, it would block out those 2 pickleball courts automatically.
But for non-related pickleball reservations could theoretically occupy all 4 courts.
Could take up 4 of the 8 courts.
And they can play tennis if they want.
But when
Good.
when they
Yeah.
reserve, since they have their favorites, you're not necessarily filling up tennis court 1 with 2 pickleballs, then tennis court 2 with 2 pickleballs. Someone could get pickleball A on court 1, pickleball B on court 2,
Yep.
and then same thing on court
Correct.
4,
Correct.
which would,
yes.
would
In
4,
theory, take out the tennis.
4,
Yes.
they would take out the
Yeah.
tennis.
That's what
Correct.
I'm saying.
And 4 tennis people could do the same thing to pickle.
Yes,
Right.
but tennis needs
Yep.
the whole court.
Mhm.
Pickle doesn't need the whole
Yep.
court.
But they've also figured out that if you book a tennis court, you get 2 pickleball for the
True.
price of 1,
Yeah.
or for the
There's
6
no
hours
price.
of 1.
Yeah. So we're all clear.
Okay, so a family under that 4 hours per week could.
Which is why we had to limit it to per family.
Giving all these people great ideas.
I know, that's why we're saying too much here.
Okay.
You guys are all learning something.
Other towns have done the hourly rate and it has not gone well. Talk about a revolt.
Okay. Well, then, we're not going to put up signs because it is sunrise to sunset, and I think it would be silly to put one permitted
Mhm.
court time 9 a.m. to, so, and unless
I agree.
anyone strongly disagrees, I don't think we're converting back to tennis courts. No. All right.
Especially once the courts were open, I bet you that relieved a lot of the pressure down there.
Did.
I think if anything, if given the scenario where I said that 4 pickleball groups could occupy, if there was a sign that said, if there's demand, could you double up?
Like a courtesy sign.
Yeah, a courtesy sign.
Well, I also think that's like a neighborly kind of discussion. You come in and we're all people. You have a conversation.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to police that.
Well, but
Like,
there's out in Long Island we were playing pickleball over the weekend, and there's a bunch of courtesy signs. If people are waiting, limit your play time to X and whatever.
Correct, but do you really need to be told to be courteous?
Yes, absolutely.
I came from a different.
Well, that may be you, but I don't think everyone out there.
True. No, you're right.
It's also a good way to, you can guilt people by like,
True.
see the time there?
All right.
Instant.
I just try to be nice.
All right, let's get on to new business. First up, Katie Romeo for McKinley PTA to request to hold next year's McKinley Carnival, April 25th, 6th, 7th.
First, I just want to say thank you so much for accommodating us and
The star's
all the
back.
work that you did.
All right,
and
your star is
I'll
back.
find it.
Hi, I'm Nora Romeo, and I'm a student at McKinley Elementary School. The McKinley Carnival is the biggest fundraiser that our school PTA has each year, and it is so much fun for everyone. The money we raise helps provide field trips, special programming, and so much more for all of my friends. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. That was very well done. And if I may, Mom, if you could go first and give your name and address for the record.
Sorry, Katie Romeo, 237 Greenfield Street.
And your name?
I'm Nora Romeo.
All right. Did you get that? All right. So one question I had. So do we normally give the full weekend before? Because it says, we request.
Can I clarify that?
You can.
So that is simply so that if the weekend before the carnival is canceled in Trumbull, that he can just park the trucks there instead of having to take them all the way back to his farm or wherever he puts them and then bring them back. It's just that they're not there. I don't think they even start setting up until Tuesday. It's just more for their convenience so that they don't have to do double driving.
Okay, because we would.
Tuesday is normally when
we
they
were
start
typically
setting up.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, yeah, I noticed that, but
Yes.
don't recall that.
A few years ago, I started adding the days just for, there were a bunch of rain days that happened and needed. So,
And I think during April, there's not high demand for that parking lot.
No.
And the weekend before, there's no other function of significance that would demand parking?
No.
Okay, well, if that's the case, maybe we'll find a spot for them as far away from the neighbors as possible. So,
thank you.
anyone have any questions? No. Someone like to make a motion?
Well, second.
Any further discussion? Any comments or questions from the public?
That's great.
Yeah, I think she did great.
I think she did great.
For the record.
Cheers.
Okay, back to the commission. All those in favor? David?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Good luck.
you so much.
Look forward to seeing you again. All right. Next up, Aaron Zapsik, Mind Travel, requests to hold an additional Mind Travel event on September 10th of this year at Jennings Beach.
On the phone.
Hi there, how are you? My name is Erin Zapsik. I'm calling from 6309 3/4 Cahuenga Boulevard in North Hollywood, California, 91606. First of all, Murray Hittery does send his regrets. He wishes he could be here tonight to speak with you all again. He is currently performing on the beach in Sarasota, and it was very important to us to make sure we got on the to potentially bring this back to Jennings Beach before the weather turns for the season. So unfortunately, Murray was not able to join us tonight, but he does send his best to all of you. So just to recap, we had a very successful event just a few weeks ago at Jennings Beach. It was our first time in Fairfield, and it was tremendously well received by the community. Even with the rain washing us out the first day and coming back the next day, everyone really persevered and had a really beautiful experience together on the beach. And we received so much positive feedback and so much interest from the community that we wanted to try and get back one more time before the weather turned cold for the season. So we've submitted another application. Everything would be the exact same in terms of setup as the last time. We are, going to be on the beach on a weekday after Labor Day. So, hopefully this alleviates some of the concerns that the committee had with our previous application, and especially since we've done this now successfully even during the summer season. And, the only difference is that we'd be starting a little bit earlier. This last performance was scheduled for 7:30. This one would start at 6 o'clock to coincide more with sunset, and we'd conclude by 8 o'clock, and it would immediately start striking thereafter. An earlier start time would mean that we would be on the beach around 1 o'clock p.m. to start setting up, but we never ask anyone to leave. We always, work our way around anyone who might be on the beach at that time. And I'm happy to answer any questions anyone might have about this experience.
Aaron, how many people, if you said this, sorry I missed it, how many people attended the August 7th event?
We had about 175 people.
Wow.
Okay. Yes, Chris.
What's the cost per person?
The average ticket price is around $45, but we do offer a pay-what-you-can model. It's important to us to make the experience accessible to anyone, regardless of what they might be experiencing financially at the time. So while many people do pay the full ticket price of $45, we do have the pay-what-you-can option to anyone who needs it.
Do you offer a senior discount?
We don't typically. We do child price at $15. The full price adult is $45, but we do tiered pricing. So the further in advance that you buy the ticket, the less expensive it is. So early bird pricing is $38. Early bird pricing is $42, and then full price ticket is $45.
And of the 175, do you know approximately how many paid under the pay what you can, paid a lesser amount?
I can get that information for you in just one sec. Oh, I actually overspoke. It was 137 was the number of tickets that we sold. And of those 137, 27 of those were purchased under the pay what you can.
Okay. And just what would you think your plans might be for 2025 and beyond?
Well, we'd love to come back for sure. We have not planned out our schedule quite so far yet, but we are, we have very much enjoyed our working relationship with Fairfield and are happy to make any kind of accommodations that the town would like us to see or would like to see us implement for 2025 and beyond. Typically, we try to coordinate our schedule when we're in the New York tri-state vicinity, because that's we have 3 different what we call production hubs in the United States. We have one here in California, one in Florida, and one operating within the New York tri-state area. So that's where our piano is, and so we try to schedule concerts. It'll be in and around the New York tri-state area. So, New York City, we always do several concerts a year at Central Park. So anytime that we would be scheduling a Central Park concert, we would, ideally love to be bringing back to Jennings Beach. And that's, as early as late April, early May, depending on the weather, and into the fall, depending on how warm the seasons get.
Anthony, the August 7th event?
We had no issues. It was a huge success as far as we were concerned.
Okay. Yeah. Super. Any other questions?
I'm just curious, how many out-of-towners at the August 7th event?
That I can't pull up very quickly. I don't know if anyone, I guess the parking attendants might know, because they would have had to buy an out-of-town parking sticker for the cars.
What's that?
We don't know.
Yeah, I didn't think she would know. Okay. Anything else? David, any questions?
No, thank you.
Anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Dylan?
I'll second.
Chris? Any further discussion, questions? Anything from the public? Back to the commission. All those in favor? David?
Aye. Yes.
All right. Aaron, you're all set.
Thank you so much. We're looking forward to it. And anyone who would like to attend, please let us know, and we'll have seats for you on the beach.
All right. Super. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would go. But okay. Next up, Megan McCloat, the Pink Pledge, requests to change the venue from previously approved Sherman Green to Jennings Beach for the Pink Pledge kickoff September 27th.
Hi, good evening. I'm Megan McCloat, 2815 Reading Road. Also here on behalf of Normal Green Breast Center, which is at 111 Beach Road. And a slight change, point of order to the amendment here is that we're actually not going to end up needing to change the venue, although we still wanted to come and explain why that is, and we hope that you'll also see that it's a good reason. It's a benefit to what we've been doing in the community. So much thanks to the Commission and, of course, to the community who supported us in being able to celebrate 10 years of Pink Pledge in Fairfield, which, as many of you know, continues to be the month-long celebration to raise breast cancer awareness and funds for patients with the Normal Green Breast Center that can't afford their treatment. For many years, we've been congregating at the Sherman Green. Has a grown success with how much community involvement it has grown throughout the years. We've had to pivot through a few years when Sherman Green was under construction. We went to Town Hall Green, but Sherman Green continues to be right at the central location of our downtown area. This year we are celebrating our 10th anniversary of the campaign, which coincides with the 25th anniversary of the Norma Green Breast Center being in Fairfield. So obviously we're very proud of that accomplishment. Over those 10 years, we've raised over $1.6 million. And to celebrate that, we really felt we needed to elevate our event. In the last couple of days, we've had the benefit of finding out we don't actually need to change our venue for what we want to do because we are able to utilize a new concept, we hope with the approval of this commission, of adding a drone light show over our event that always takes place at the Sherman Green. So what that entails is we have a concert every year at the Green. You guys are familiar, that was already previously approved, requested that. But the whole concept of Pink Pledge has been lighting up the town pink. So in an effort with major help from Anthony Calabrese to identify ways that we could do that in a special way, we'd like to request additional use of the Sergeant Murphy Park, which is right behind the Fairfield Fire Department, only for the purposes of setting up the drones because they then take off and lift into the air and help us light up and glow a message of awareness and a message of support for our whole community. So again, just to clarify, we're changing this request not to be a new venue, just an additional enhancement of use of that Sergeant Murphy Park to help elevate the Sherman Green community celebration. And we hope with the support of this commission that the entire community can come out and join us.
And a rain date of October 3rd.
Okay. So I know we have a policy for the beaches as it relates to drones.
Mm-hmm.
And don't we have a policy in our parks?
So we talked, I believe the only policy that we have, I think it's, I'd have to double check, but I believe it just says as long as you're following FDA regulations, you're okay. This would fall within the FDA regulations. Because it would have a pilot, they would not be piloting these. There would be a licensed pilot that's piloting the show.
And from what we understand, so FAA, Federal Aviation, right, they, of course, approve any licenses for drone operators. So this is a verified company.
FDA.
Yes.
FAA.
I hope we don't have to go through the FDA for this, right? But
Did I say FDA? Sorry.
FAA,
You knew what I meant.
That's why there's actually a very limited number of providers of this type of enhancement to an event. And I think we'd be very excited in Fairfield because from my knowledge, this would be the first time a drone show like this has ever happened in Fairfield. Obviously, we've all seen them on TV. They happen at large football games, things like that. So we're very excited about being able to really give back to the community, a special enhancement opportunity to celebrate all that we've accomplished at the town of Fairfield to raise funds and awareness for breast cancer. And it's free. Yep, our event has consistently been free, and we don't plan to change it as a result of this.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to add in your notes, it talks about the fireworks, and when Mr. Calabrese presented in the whatever month that was, there was no mention of fireworks.
No, this changed, and that was why they were coming.
January, yeah.
Right. So this request originally, well, the one that was on the agenda tonight to move to Jennings Beach included a potential fireworks show.
Okay.
That has changed.
I understand that.
Yes.
So my question would have been, do we have the authority to approve fireworks on the beach?
So I'm trying to pull up.
But I guess that's not relevant at this
Not
point.
relevant now.
So, however, the request on the agenda is very different. So I'm just thinking out loud whether we need to make a motion to approve the modification to the item. I would actually like to do that if we're willing. If someone can make a motion to modify this in order to include the use of Sergeant Murphy Park and a drone show.
And at the rain date?
And the rain date.
And at the rain date.
Before we get into the motion, when did we approve this originally?
I
do remember this coming, but
it was January 17th.
And so we talked about vendors and food trucks and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Okay. I mean, I just don't remember when, but I know we talked about it. Okay.
And the plan is not to change anything based on what you approved already in January, except for the additional use of this Sergeant Murphy Park to only lift off the drones. That's the only thing from the plan that's changed.
I have one odd question.
Yes.
Is this the kind of thing that either we or they would inform the police department of? Because when those things start going on,
Police are aware.
the phone calls are gonna.
Yeah.
Yep, the police department and fire department are both aware.
Okay.
Consider it's right there.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just picturing all of the.
I think our hope is that a lot less phone calls happen as a result of our original plan being things that unfortunately do cause phone calls, that this is actually a much more environmentally friendly, less sound, quiet, and a lot more obviously technologically advanced opportunity to still enjoy something special in the glow of the sky.
So let's first modify the agenda to reflect what is being requested, and then we can go back if there's any further discussion, then we can make a motion if that's where we're moving. So,
Ryan, I can make a motion to modify the request from a change of venue to use of drones in Sergeant Murphy Park on September 27th for a light show with a rain date of October 3rd.
perfect. That captures exactly what we need.
Well done.
Second.
All right, so we have okay, so in order to modify this, we need a 2/3 approval. So any discussion on this before we vote? Okay, all those in favor of making the modification? David?
Aye.
Okay, beautiful. Now if there's any further discussion, or if you want to go to a motion.
Are there any concerns with the use of that park? Is it being used for anything? Free?
Yeah, no, it's free. It has a larger green space beyond the playground, so it'll be a good spot for this. Yeah.
Is this off of South Pine Creek?
No.
Nope, it's off of Reef Road on Nichols Ave. Nichols
Oh, the little
Street.
small one?
Nichols, yeah.
Nichols
Yeah.
Street.
Right by the fire department.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I know
It's
where
tiny,
it is.
but it's
Okay,
very
I've grilled there forever.
You're curious. A drone show from Sergeant Murphy. So how many drones actually go up?
It's 150 drones.
150 drones?
Yep,
How cool is
and
that?
we're just as excited as you are, right? We've never seen this in person, but 150 drones that get set up almost as like a field, and then it goes up always like one net, right? And the lights go off to create the visual optics of different designs.
Didn't they have that at the Olympics in China where they had like the sphere?
Yes.
That was like 20,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, but it's not the same concept, yeah.
Same concept, for sure.
No, is it going to be the same as the
Aren't you
Olympics?
excited? We are.
Cool.
I think that's probably what, I have to be completely honest. A couple weeks ago, I had no idea what a drone show was. And I knew that there was talk about the fact that it was the future of fireworks. It was going to be the new element. I also had no idea that it is actually quite a bit more expensive than fireworks, which one would not have thought. But it has a lot of technical capabilities, which I have learned, I think are a really neat enhancement to any event, and I'm very excited at the opportunity to be able to do it for the first time at Fairfield, to celebrate something that's been a pillar of support and history in the town of Fairfield. Many don't know this, but Norma Green Breast Center was the first freestanding center of its kind to provide breast cancer-specific opportunities for women in the whole Northeast, not just Connecticut. So it feels very fitting that we're able to kind of take this step, being one of the first to do something, because it's very in line with how we've gotten this far and the patients we've had over the last 2.5 years.
And Megan, clerical question, just out of curiosity, because I'm going to deep dive on this later. So there's like professional companies, right? What's the name of the company that's doing this?
They've got fabulous names, from pixie dust to all different things. I think it's Skyworks is the one we're looking at right now.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I bought my kids a drone years ago, and I crashed it right away. So I'm just like, I'm kind of flummoxed by the aspect that you could have 150 of those up there and manage them.
It's all in a computer system, and the fact that they get to reuse it over and over again. Any questions on the drone business, but
Yeah.
Chris would not get FAA approved.
No. Or FDA. That thing,
Or FDA.
that thing might have been lost in 95.
Right. Anything else? Someone make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I didn't know. One, any further comments, questions? Anything from the public? Commission, all those in favor? David?
Yes. No, I don't. Thank you.
I'm hoping I can get there.
I hope you can all come. Thank you very much.
What time is it?
It's
Starts at
5:30. Right. But you want to stay till it gets dark because it's going to be really exciting, I promise. Thanks so much.
And Megan,
thanks so much for your support.
we've got 1, 2, 3. You're the fourth.
Holy Cross grads in the room. I hope Holy Cross is all their pink. September 27th. That's awesome. What a small world.
I know, right?
Thank you all, and again, thank you for your
The vote was
many
locked
years
in.
of support.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Kent Tulo, Director of Mountain Workshop, requests to hold team building day at Southport Beach with the 8th grade of the Southport School, approximately 18 people, September 12th from 11:15 a.m. to 3 p.m., Southport Beach. Kent?
Yes. Hi. How are you?
Good.
Kent Fellow, Mountain Workshop. We're at 158 Kenwood Avenue. As a red, Southport School and Dr. Haley Buckingham, we've been working with them for a few years. We've worked with their 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. And we're a 45-year-old company this year that does team building programs for schools. And my 30th year this year, so I've been doing this for quite a while. And they asked if we could try to get Southport Beach. I brought them down to Cat Pasture Beach in Norwalk, which is actually where I bring, this year I'm bringing, let's see, Tomlinson down there. They'll leave in town to go use that park just because it's bigger for what our needs are. But we also work with Roger Ludlow Middle School. And they were asking for that so that they don't have to pay for bus transportation and they can just walk over to the park. And what we would be, or the beach, what we'd be doing is our raft build initiative where the students are provided tubes and boards and ropes and they design and create a raft which will float. And about 4 to 5 kids get on each raft. We paddle out maybe 15 feet and come back and disassemble the rafts. And then we have a 35-foot Pacific Northwest Native American style war canoe, as they call it, which is their old whaling boats. And it fits about 16 people. And we would just do a little bit of paddling around, which is getting them all working together to steer the boats and bring it back in the beach, to the beach. And it's really just a short, quick program for them, about 2 hours or 2.5 hours, where we're just requesting that we have a little time to set up and break down. And that's the extent of it.
Okay, so Mountain Workshop.
Correct.
So is this a for-profit organization? Okay, so the Southport School hires you to run this program?
Correct.
Okay. And, okay. Any questions?
Are there any insurance considerations we should talk about? I mean, says you can provide a certificate of insurance, but from the town's perspective.
Yeah, I believe that their certificate of insurance is going to be exactly what we're looking for. I know they do it with other towns. We used to have a partnership with them. I'm going back almost 20 years.
I was there.
Where we used to do stuff at Lake Mohegan. So we've done stuff with them in the past.
Yes. Okay. And you think risk would be fine with this?
Yeah.
And so I guess the issue of a for-profit organization using one of our beaches without any fees,
we're happy to pay a fee. It was not an assumption that we wouldn't. It was more just for the opportunity.
Yeah, it is after Labor Day, so anyone have a thought on that?
Well, this is the other thing is, it's beaches, right? You have a certain area from the ocean to high tide, right? That's not owned by anybody. So that's always the question I'm kind of like raising. So what I just don't understand why they just can't do that. Why do they need our approval?
We can be on the beach. You can be on the beach.
Okay.
The same reason why anyone using the beach needs to secure.
But it's after Labor Day, though. It's not.
Mine travel was after Labor Day, too.
Yeah. But still, beaches and anyone having a function. Yeah. Honestly, 18 boys, I'm not.
It's really 11 students, not just boys.
I know.
Students.
Do you know what the ratio of Fairfield residents are?
They're not asking.
In the Southport school?
Yeah.
I don't. But Tomlinson and Ludlow are 100%.
Yeah. I was just thinking for this, how many residents might be part of your group versus
It is a good question, but I'm not sure with Southport school. I could ask.
What do you think about?
I don't have an issue with this program. I think it's a good program. Southport School has been a good neighbor to us, and I fully support it.
Yeah. Any other questions? Dave, anything?
No, thank you.
Amy, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, if we're ready for a motion, I'm happy to make a motion to accept.
So we got a motion?
Yes.
Okay. And with the second, okay. Any further conversation? The public? Back to the commission. All those in favor? David?
Aye.
All right, you're all set.
Thank you so much. And with COI, is there a specific address or something? Just
75 Mill Plain, or you can email it to me.
All right, great.
Okay.
Thank
Perfect.
you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too.
Have a good event. All right, thank you.
They do commission team building?
That would be fun.
We'd all sing. We would sing.
Okay, and next up,
I think that'd be a cool.
Mary Kate Lang, OCD Walk Manager, International OCD Foundation, requests hold the 1 million steps for OCD Walk at Jennings Beach, October 19th of this year, starting at 9 a.m., concluding at 12 p.m.
So actually, I'm Audrey Med, and it's 1602 Briar Woods, and it's 2 words, Lane, Danbury, Connecticut.
And Audrey, I'm sorry, your last name?
Med, M-E-D-D. So Mary Kate is our national affiliate, and she's in Boston and could not be here tonight. So I have myself, Rocco Claricuzio, and David Linecooler from the board of directors of OCD Connecticut. So I'm going to be doing the presentation. I don't know if you need to make a motion to change the agenda for the name. Okay. So we're OCD Connecticut. We're the state affiliate of the International OCD Foundation, which is the international foundation set up to spread education and awareness regarding the mental health disorder of OCD. I'm the secretary on the board of OCD Connecticut. Rocco here is the treasurer, and Herb is the vice president.
You're also the walk committee.
Oh, I'm also the walk committee chairperson, and Rocco is on the committee with me. So we're a relatively new organization to the state of Connecticut. We formed years ago, and then we disbanded, and then just our group reformed about 3 years
ago. We took over from a previous group that resigned.
Right.
Yeah.
So we every year the 1 million steps for OCD Walk is held nationwide, and there is some international 1 million steps for OCD Walk. And what is set up to bring education and awareness to the community, but it's also a really big fundraiser for us as a nonprofit organization. We unofficially held 2 walks so far, but there's just been grassroots walks where we've just met as a group and just walked around. This is our first formal, or our proposal for our first formal walk, and we wanted to bring it to the town of Fairfield because we love Jennings Beach area. But also our clinical advisor, Dr. Christina Taylor, is a professor emeritus at Sacred Heart University, and
also a Fairfield resident.
And a Fairfield resident. Right. She's a big icon and supporter of our.
She's our clinical. She's one of our scientific clinical advisors.
Right.
For the affiliate.
So we thought the town of Fairfield would be great to bring this inaugural walk to. We were hoping that we could have it each year going forward, doing it annually and having it in the same place. Fairfield's also a really good location. Like I said, I'm from Danbury, and it wasn't
if it wasn't 5 o'clock traffic, it would not have been that bad to get here. But it is off of, so it's not far from Route 7, so not bad with 84. It's right on 95 or the Merritt, so it's a very convenient area to get to. We're not having a drone show, so don't worry about it. No fireworks, no nothing. We're actually, we are planning probably about 30 to 50 people. I'd say more 30 people.
Probably could be up to 75, but
could be up to 75.
it's not average around 50. Yeah.
But there's, we have events. Our biggest event was recently in June, which is why we couldn't be here for the June meeting, was with Dr. Pittenger of Yale, and we had 34 people. So that's about the amount of people we're attracting right now. I put in the proposal that we might have vendors. We're definitely not having food trucks. I don't think we're going to have very many vendors. We're really trying to start small and build our way up to a drone show. That was just the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But so we basically would have to, the biggest thing that we'd have to do is we'd have to set up a tent to hand out shirts. Because it's your classic walk where if you sign up and you pledge at least $25, you get a free shirt from the IOCDF. So the walk is free unless you want a shirt. You have to raise at least $25.
Whoever signs up, it's like they'll be doing the fundraising on their own for the organization.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, and how long is the walk?
45 minutes, an hour. We
so
probably
a couple
would.
miles?
A couple miles, yeah.
Did you see the?
At most,
I
yeah.
got a map for you.
I put a map in
He said where we're going to.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
it wouldn't be on the beach itself. It would be around the sidewalk. Yeah, it's not the best map. I don't have. It's a little bit of a crude kind of drawn map, but
Right in the neighborhood.
right in the neighborhood. We would have, like I said, we probably would have a grand marshal. It probably would be me, who would just give a speech, thank you for coming, and then we'd have a keynote speaker who we haven't decided on. So we.
Yeah, and we would set up in the Jennings Beach parking lot, where we would have the tent and where people can come and get their shirts and sign up.
Nothing else?
Nope. Nope, it's available.
And so for a walk, Anthony, with that many, but assume they went up to as far as 75 if they're walking, we wouldn't need a police to,
No, I don't believe so.
shut down streets or anything.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we have insurance, so if you need a certificate of insurance, we could provide that. We also could retain a police officer if you needed that. I mean, we have the funds to be able to do it, whatever we need. We just need to secure a place for the walk.
Yeah, we're willing to do whatever we can to collaborate with the Parks and Rec department.
We currently are drawing a lot of people between Stanford, Norwalk, and
New Haven,
Trumbull. And while we are a statewide organization and we're trying to get our tentacles out as much as we can, this would be convenient to a large number of people that would figure to be coming to the walk this year.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions?
One quick question for the motion. Is it correct to say Jennings Beach? Do we need to say parking lot in the motion in terms of differentiating the space, or because it's after Labor Day, it doesn't matter?
Actually, I was going to suggest that.
Yeah, because I guess you're right. Technically, it's the Jennings Beach parking lot.
Right. Again, if it doesn't matter, then it's.
That is a good question.
Yeah, I was just going back to the McKinley Carnival to see what that said. If it said
good point.
Jennings Beach or
Pandora's box.
Oh, they say nothing about the location. They just say, can we hold it?
But, yeah, so, yeah, the carnival is clearly not on the beach in the parking lot. It says Genesee. So,
I was just looking at the motion.
I mean, the parking lot, because people will need to park there.
I understand, we just, that's technical.
Right, it's just,
Yeah, I think, I don't.
And then were you planning on, did you have a rain date? Was that something
We
you
did
wanted to
not
consider?
have a rain date. We are chancing it. We didn't choose a rain date. I guess we could do the Sunday.
Is that something we could do, like, for the next day, if it rains, or?
We could choose a rain date, but we're all new to this, getting permission to do a full-fledged walk and then having to do the walk itself and to figure it all out. So we decided not to do a rain date, and we figured if it's going to be a torrential downpour, which, knocks on wood, hopefully it's not, we would just cancel it and just call it early late that night, early that morning. I mean, we're certainly not going to make people come out if it's something like we experienced a couple of days ago. But we did in our unofficial grassroots walk where we just met last year. It rained, and we had about 15 people came out, and we just walked around.
So, any other questions? Someone?
I just have a question on it, because it says you were, last October 14th, you were at Jennings Beach.
We did an unofficial walk.
Okay.
So we didn't advertise, we advertised on our Facebook page, but we didn't, to do a walk with the IOCDF, we have to affiliate with the IOCDF, and we would be entitled to half of the funds that are raised from the walk page. We have to get permission to do a full-fledged walk. So we didn't have a grand marshal, we didn't hand out T-shirts, we just all met and walked around. We didn't hand...
This will be our first official walk, which will be sponsored by the International LCD Foundation. The past 2 years, we had, like Audrey said, we had a grassroots community walk, which the foundation allows us to do, but it's not listed with them. It's not listed on their website. This walk would be listed on their website.
Right, and they send out, that's where Mary Kate Lang comes in. She's the walk manager for the IOCDF. So they'll send out blast emails to all of their, nationwide to all of their email lists. It'll be listed on their website. It'll be, they'll send us marketing materials. So I know that they send for the walk day, like those foam board picture frames that you could take pictures with. So it'll be a nationally recognized walk as opposed to just a group of people.
All the affiliates try to have their own walk, their own official walk. So this will be our first official walk.
All right, sounds good.
Yes. So, any other questions? Someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, Brian.
Okay. Give me a second.
Sure.
Jamie, ready to jump in, Jamie.
Thank you.
All right, any further questions? No, I'm not going to ask for the public. Back to the commission. All those in favor? David?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, you're all set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck. Appreciate it. Congratulations.
Yeah, we appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
Good luck. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Next up, board bed report.
Yeah, I'm happy to say that with those redistricting and no new superintendent to hire, it has been a very quiet summer. So we have not met since the commission last night. So really nothing to say. The convocation was this morning. So all the teachers, all staff are now back in the buildings. Orientation for the 9th grade is Monday. Classes kick off Tuesday. And
yay.
Yeah.
It's over.
Tuesday.
Yeah. So
It feels like so.
that's my report. I don't know if anybody has any questions, if you're hearing anything that you'd like to ask about.
No, but I love your T-shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
My favorite SNL
Oh,
skit.
it's the best.
More cowbell.
All right, and now we have the director of program reports.
Well, as Jen just said, summer's winding down. Today was our first day of fall-winter registration. It was fairly successful. Strong numbers right off the bat, which are great. I'm sure as people are returning from summer vacation, those numbers will only increase over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, that's looking good. Everybody should have received their brochure last week, I believe, if it all hit the mail like it was supposed to. Well, you can grab a copy on the way out. We've got a couple here, but there you will see in there some of our annual events that we normally do. Glow on the Green at Smith Richardson, our second annual Oktoberfest at FTC, and Winter Whimsy at Town Hall Green that first Saturday of December. Staff's been working hard, obviously, to get all this stuff up and running. Capital projects, big week for us. The 2 additional courts at Tunxus Hill, the pickleball courts at Tunxus Hill, those are likely going to be open tomorrow. Little landscaping that needs to be done and the paving of the sidewalks, but the courts themselves are ready for play. They look great. The new driving range at H. Smith Richardson will probably be open within the next week. We're finalizing things with Top Tracer up there tomorrow. RLMS turf field conversion. We will be breaking ground finally right after Labor Day. We're just waiting on test results to come back, but we're not anticipating anything out of the ordinary there. But
so that means the field is out of commission.
Field will be out of commission the entire fall and winter, and as long as the winter, is a normal winter, we should be opening that field probably May 1st.
How long does it take start to finish?
They have 120 days to finish the contract.
Seems like a lot.
So
big field.
Big field, and we get the middle of winter. DeRosa. They're out of Westchester area. They did 4 fields in Westport, and then they did, I believe, 5 up at Yale University.
Do they have to do irrigation underneath? Is that why?
Nope.
No.
What's next for the driving range?
The short range area after that'll likely we just started clearing the woods area between the softball field and the driving range. So now an architect will come in now that that's been cleared and give us a proposal of this is how you should lay out, bunkers and have 1 or 2 greens over there.
Is that a 2-bay?
Nope, it's
just one. Yeah.
Just a single bay, heat, lights. Yeah, it looks really, really good.
Is it closed now?
It was horrible.
No, we kept it open. We kept it open, just moved them
That was
up.
horrible.
So
Hitting from that.
yeah, so we're very excited though. We're also we'll be working on replacing the playground at Lake Mohegan. The town gave us $75,000 worth of ARPA funds to match a $75,000 state grant that we got. So that was a nice surprise for us. So that was good. So we'll get that going this fall. We're going to be replacing the surfacing at the splash pad to a cushioned surface. So again, we're working on. So it's not. So we're going to see how that goes. We're working on trying to find the funding for that. We're working with the administration on that right now. And then Jackie Durrell will be getting a brand new deck this fall, right in mid-October, mid to late October. So it's gonna look really good. It'll match the new deck at Penfield.
Can I ask a quick question? Is it going to have a bench along the entire?
It will have a bench still. Yeah.
You don't like that?
Well, not for my classes.
Yeah, Galen pushed for that hard at Jackie.
I mean, it's nice.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that.
They can extend it out.
Just a couple other things. Dugiello, follow up finally on the design. I knew you wouldn't let me get away with it. Landtech finally got back to me with a price of $7,500 to do the design. So now that I have the price, the quote, I can get that approved. They can do the design.
So this is for the softball field?
For the second softball field.
And have you talked to Matt Colangelo?
No.
Because he was here. Remember, he was the president. They're willing to fundraise.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah. This is still just the design.
What question I have is if that's the price to design the field.
Correct.
that means they've taken a look at it and believe that they could fit the field back there.
Correct. Yep.
And it wouldn't be,
correct,
ridiculously expensive build outs and retaining walls. And
correct. So I've been meeting with the administration to talk through long-term capital plan, the waterfall chart. You guys have heard that buzzword a lot. And we've been carrying $3.2 million for the Doogie master plan upgrade, which this is where I see that field, whatever portion that is, would be captured within that money that's sitting on the waterfall chart, with the other upgrades that were going on there. Another one, they haven't had time to look at a plan for the Giant Steps yet, Walter Fitzgerald campus. However, we are carrying $8 million on the waterfall chart, which was a pleasant surprise because it wasn't one that I had requested to put on there within the next 5 years. But it's being carried on there because the administration believes that that's a viable project that should take place.
Which would
That's
be
great.
doing what?
We're not sure yet.
Okay.
So I don't want to even speak out of turn. I know we're carrying $8 million tentatively, and that $8 million is based on the plan that our master plan was calling for. But they're looking at all options, and I believe they're starting with looking at the current dilapidated building that's there and to see how structurally sound it is and is it worth keeping. But that's where they want to start, so that's how they're going to start.
Which I think our group could go out there with a couple hammers and knock that thing down.
So,
Dylan could anyhow.
Yeah. One of the other big projects that, again, I didn't foresee at any point, as I don't think it was on anybody's radar, was the pilot house at Grasmere, Grasmere Ave, Sullivan McKinney Senior Housing. We're going to be taking over the pilot house portion of that building come, I believe, April 1st. We will be making that the home of our adaptive recreation programming, which is a home run for us. But right now we're now carrying $1.5 million to renovate and design that building and outfit it the way that we would need it outfitted for that population. But a couple things that I'm looking at right now would be an all-inclusive adaptive playground. So replacing the playground that's there now with an all-inclusive adaptive playground.
Is that the place with the Little League, the softball
Yep,
field?
and then taking that Little League softball field and turning it into a miracle field. It's the perfect dimensions for it. It doesn't mean you couldn't still put the T-ball that plays there now, but it would also, again, give another place where Red Storm is currently playing at Mill Hill could potentially slide over there and,
So does that mean it would be turfed?
It would be turfed.
Awesome.
Yep. So we're carrying $1.5 million for that. So again, we've got a lot of projects going on. Staff's been doing a great job. We did just hire 2 new staff members, and I believe everybody knows that Chelsea Deskin had left us. We replaced her position with Tara Vaspizano, who's overseeing all our social media and special events. And then Scott Buckholtz, our recreation aquatics coordinator, who oversaw all our leagues and our waterfront, has been replaced by Jason Wilson. And so far, both have hit the ground running and are really, we really enjoy having them in our office so far. So hopefully it stays that way.
All right, that's a good report. Armory, anything?
Yep, that's another one very similar to the Giant Steps property, where they finally have tracked down from the government who's overseeing that on the government side. Because the person that was overseeing it retired and nobody knew anything about it, but they need to evaluate that building. They did not, I don't believe they put a number on the waterfall chart yet. I want to say that it was kind of like a blank spot, and there was no timing on the transfer, but they believe it's going to happen. This is the most optimistic I've ever heard anybody.
Who owns the cleanup of that property?
I believe the federal government owns the cleanup of the property, like the grounds, right. But the town would own the cleanup of the building.
Okay, which is fine.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's...
Yep.
Because it'd be repurposed or whatever.
Correct. Like 6-8 acres?
Yeah, I think it's 9.
9 acres?
Yeah,
right. So the cleanup of what's been pumped into that ground would be massive.
Correct.
So, okay. Great.
Can I ask one question about the Giant Steps? I know that it's very early, but are you kicking around the idea of an indoor facility there?
I mentioned it.
Cool. Right? Did we talk
Field
about
house.
but didn't we talk about like an Olympic-sized indoor pool? Or maybe you, Bill and I,
Dog park.
Yeah. No more dog park.
That would
Indoor dog.
probably require opening up another entrance.
No matter what they do, that was what they mentioned at the Board of Selectmen meeting today. 'Cause they did talk about the capital waterfall chart there today, and I watched it before this meeting.
Which is,
You mean a second entrance?
Yeah.
Which,
That's the Carver Road, right?
Unfortunately, you and I will be.
So they've got the wetlands, right?
Yep. Yeah, we have, I think, 29 acres of open space, conservation land right adjacent to it.
and so it's easy access,
Yep.
but then those neighbors who,
Well, there's
there's a few more dollars in that neighborhood to hire attorneys than some of the other neighborhoods we've fought with in the past.
But we also talked about, there's the main road, I forget, where you, basically, maybe you come in one way and you come out the other.
That's above our pay grade.
We had a committee.
I know.
I'm sorry to delay you, but one other question. At one point in time, Bill Hurley came in here to talk flood mitigation at Owen Fish, and we had kind of kicked around turfing that. Has anything happened with that?
No.
No.
Is he ready to come back? No. That's fine. I got it. All right. Makes for a very long meeting.
Happy Labor Day, everybody.
Good meeting.
All right, so it is whatever time it is, 8:12. Anything else? We're adjourned.